set the intention. The intention is very, very important. Set the intention for what you want and watch it unfold. One thing that I had to learn when I became a makeup artist, and just on this journey in general, this journey called life and entrepreneurship and everything, is I've learned how to be flexible with how things happen. Our job is just to know what we want and trust the how. We don't always know the how. We think we know the how. We can write out these plans for how we want things to go, but I've learned to be more flexible with that, because when you hold on so tightly to how you want things to happen, you may be holding yourself back from how it really needs to happen for your intentions and your manifestations to actually come to fruition.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get real answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. My name is Aquia Robinson, and I'm a makeup artist, beauty educator, and the creator of Friends in Beauty. I created Friends in Beauty to support like-minded creatives just like you on their quest to connect, network, and build genuine relationships within the beauty community. Join me every week as me and my special guests reveal the keys to success and longevity in the beauty industry, and most importantly, have fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Aquia Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. If you are a friend in beauty, I welcome you to join the Friends in Beauty Facebook community. If you're looking for a community of like-minded, ambitious friends in beauty to virtually connect with, network, and share resources, then click the link down below in the show description to join us in the Facebook community, and I'll be there to welcome you with open arms. Also, let's get social. Follow Friends in Beauty on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty. Additionally, the Friends in Beauty podcast is available on several platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google, YouTube, you name it, we are there. And whatever platform you are listening from right now, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into the Friends in Beauty podcast. I appreciate it more than you know. And I would love it even further if you took the time to leave a 5-star rating, a review, a like, a comment, a share, a subscribe, or something to let me know how you feel about the Friends in Beauty podcast. Additionally, Friends in Beauty is now on Patreon. So for as little as $3 a month, you can support the Friends in Beauty podcast. And there are also several tiers available that unlock Patreon exclusive content just for you, like behind the scene content of the Friends in Beauty podcast, bonus interview clips, a monthly Ask Me Anything, discounts, and so much more. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'll leave the link down below in the show description for that as well. Also, if you'd like to stay connected even further, join the Friends in Beauty mailing list tribe. They are the first to know about all things Friends in Beauty, and I send out different resources and tips throughout the week. So if that's something that you're interested in, join us over there. And last but not least, listen up. The most important thing is to share the Friends in Beauty podcast with your other friends in beauty, your family, your friends, anybody that you think could benefit from the information that is being shared. Share away to help me grow the Friends in Beauty community. Now, before we jump into today's episode, it is my duty as your best friend in beauty to share with you that there is another Friends in Beauty networking mixer coming up on March 8th, 2023 from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the District Lab. We had such an amazing time back in January. I got so much amazing feedback from everyone that attended. It was my first time doing the networking event the way that I did it, and everyone absolutely loved it. So if you are interested in making genuine connections, I know you probably put networking on your list of things that you wanted to get better at or even just start doing, period, in 2023. I invite you to come out to the Friends in Beauty networking mixer. It's always a good time at Friends in Beauty. No need to be nervous.
I'm definitely going to ease your mind once you get there. It's such a laid back and cool environment, and it always just brings out so many amazing, not only just friends in beauty, but just amazing human beings in general. So absolutely invite a friend if you need to come, with you. That everybody is welcome, even men. Okay. I remember the last time I did the mixer, there was a man that reached out in my DM and was like, by any chance, is this event only for women? And my response was, where did you see that? Where did you see that on the flyer? Everyone is welcome. Not only just friends of beauty come out, but all types of different entrepreneurs. I always encourage anybody to come out because you just never know who you will connect with and, where that connection will lead you. So I always encourage everyone to come out. So March 8th, 6 to 9 at the District Lab. I will leave the link down below in the show notes. Another exciting thing that is coming up for Friends in Beauty is we are going to the makeup show this year, okay? The Makeup Show New York. Back in 2019, I did a bus trip to the makeup show, and we had so much fun. And I'm not just saying that because, I put it on, but I like to think that I'm a good time. I like to provide people with good experiences and everything like that. So we had a blast. That bus was full and we had a blast. So I'm doing another bus trip to the makeup show, New York. It's going to be on April 30th. We will be departing from Washington, D.C., okay? And the fee for the bus includes your round trip travel and also entry into the makeup show. If you've never been to the makeup show before, it is an absolute amazing experience. I'm not going to lie, it can be overwhelming, but that's why we're going together so we can support each other. Even I get overwhelmed sometimes, but I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to get around that and how to pace yourself. But the makeup show is just full of amazing education from industry pros. That's what I absolutely love about it. They have like free classes, seminars, different workshops and stuff that you can sit in on, keynote speakers. It's just an amazing time. And then, of course, makeup shopping. Makeup shopping. So many different brands are represented there and highly, highly discounted. I want to say up to 40% off at most times at the makeup show. So if you need to restock your kit with some things, or if you just want to try out some items, if you want to be around your friends in beauty and spend a day together, connecting, makeup shopping, education, networking, it's going to be an amazing time. So I will leave the link down in the show notes for that as well. So whether you make one event or both events, I look forward to seeing your face soon. Now, let's talk about how these manifestations be manifesting and how these connections are connecting, okay? 2023, for me at least, has been off to an amazing start. And it started before 2023, but it's bled into 2023, especially to the beginning. And I just want to say, at the end of the day, I feel like I really still can't express to you enough the importance of networking and forming genuine relationships. But hopefully by the end of this episode, it will be a little bit more clear to you, or I'll hit the nail on the head, as they say, and you'll really get where I'm coming from. That's why I continue to do, the Friends of Beauty events and everything like that, because I've already had success stories, like of people who have met at my events, have turned into friendships, have turned into jobs, have turned into campaigns, like all types of things that I've never shared before. But by the end of this episode, I hope you are just a little bit more inspired to really just get out there and just see what can happen. I have a friend that has this affirmation that she uses. It's like, just show me how good it can get. Show me how good it could get. And I want you to start living by that. Show me how good it can get. Set the intention, right, for what you want. Set the intention. The intention is very, very important. Set the intention for what you want and watch it unfold. One thing that I had to learn when I became a makeup artist, and just on this journey in general, this journey called life and entrepreneurship and everything, is I've learned how to be flexible with how things happen. Our job is just to know what we want and trust the how. we don't always know the how. We think we know the how. We can write out these plans for how we want things to go, but I've learned to be more flexible with that, because when you hold on so tightly to how you want things to happen, you may be holding yourself back from how it really needs to happen for your intentions and your manifestations to actually come to fruition. So that is my biggest advice, is just learn how to be flexible. Just set the intention and just kind of sit back. And I'm not saying not take action in general, but be a little bit loose with holding on to the reins so tight. So last year, I'm going to tell y'all a little story, because I told you I'm going to have a little story for you. If you follow me on Instagram, I told you I'm going to have a little story time for you, and here it is, okay? So last year, I made a list of people that I wanted to interview, and I just want to show y'all how my manifestations is manifesting that, because this freaking blew my mind, okay? It freaking blew my mind. So like I said, last year I made a list of people that I wanted to interview, right? It was a pretty decent list, okay? And out of, let me see, maybe like 15 people or so on that list, I interviewed 3 of them, okay? Danessa Myricks, Melissa Hibbert, and Mimi Johnson, right? Off of that list. On this list as well is Sam Fine and Melissa Butler. Melissa Butler is the CEO of the Lip Bar and Thread Beauty, okay? So I want to point out those 2 people in particular, Sam Fine and Melissa Butler. So now, last year, right as I was preparing for my 111 live podcast episode, if you go back to that vlog, because I literally captured it on the vlog, me and my best friend were in Party City, and I got an email from Melissa Butler's team, like her PR team, requesting an interview for her on the Friends in Beauty podcast. And the way that they reached out was like, yeah, we're not sure if you're familiar with, Melissa Butler and all this. I'm like, am I familiar with her? I know who she is, and she's on my freaking list of people that I want to interview in 2022. So it really got me excited. It made me see that I'm really close to something. I wrote it down. I set the intention. I'm like, I'm going to interview her. And that's that, right? So her people reached out. I responded like, of course, I would love to interview her and everything. They said that her schedule was pretty tight. Melissa is a boss, okay? She's a boss. So no surprise that her schedule was really tight. So they just wanted to put it out there, and they will follow up and reschedule or, schedule the interview. Nothing happened. That was April 2022. And of course, now we're in February. This is February 2023, okay? Almost a year later, not quite, almost there. We'll see what happens. But they never reached back out, okay? So I'm like, okay, no biggie. I know eventually it's going to happen or whatever. My intention is still there. So at the end of the year, at the end of 2022, I actually got invited to a lip bar event that was supposed to be in January. So I was like, okay, we're getting one step closer. You know what I'm saying? We're getting one step closer. They invited me to this event. I'm going to go. And in my head, I'm just like, well, I haven't talked to her yet. I'm going to just, shoot my shot when I see her at the event. But the event ended up getting postponed until February. So at the top of 2023, I made a reel of my top 10 people that I want to interview for the Friends in Beauty podcast this year. On that list was Sam Fine and also Melissa Butler, again, because I went back to my old list and I was like, okay, let me pull some people that's on this old list and just carry it into the new year, because the intention is still there. It just didn't happen in 2022. So let's try again for 2023, okay? One thing about me is I'm persistent. I'm going to make it happen, okay? So made that reel. Sam and Melissa were a part of that reel. I had my Friends in Beauty help me and start tagging people. I got the attention of quite a few people that was on that list, one of which was Sam Fine. And he was like, oh, yeah, I would absolutely do it. I'll absolutely do the podcast. And mind you, I had reached out to Sam Fine. I would really have to go in my archives and get receipts to see how many times I actually reached out to him before he agreed to do the podcast. But That was the first podcast interview that dropped this year for the podcast. So if you have not heard Sam Fine's interview, definitely go back and listen to it. I always tell people it's so much reassurance in that interview. If you have any doubt that you are not making the right decisions right now, or you are not where you are supposed to be on your journey, go listen to Sam Fine's interview. But yeah, so like I said, got Sam's attention, right? So still waiting on, the rest of the people to manifest. Sam said he was going to help me out with a couple of the people because he knows them personally. So we just going to sit back and see how that happens as well. So I can come back and tell you another story about manifesting. But like I said, Melissa's lip bar event got postponed to February in particular, okay? So this event actually happened this past weekend. And this is why I'm so excited to share with you, because the week leading up to the event, of course, I know the event is coming up. I'm like, Dad, what am I going to wear? I'm telling people like, yeah, I'm going to this event on Sunday. Guess what? I'm going to shoot my shot. When I see Melissa, I'm going to tell her about the Friends of Beauty podcast. That had always been my plan from the beginning. I'm like, well, if I can't get through to her team, then who better than to talk to than her, right? Y'all, tell me why a few days before the event, I get a DM from someone on Melissa's team asking me if I'm available that morning to do her freaking makeup. I was like, I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was actually like editing an episode or something at the time, or doing something Friends of Beauty related. And I literally started tearing up because I'm like, whoa, is this really happening? I was just going to talk to her at the event, but even better, I get to do her makeup and really have that one-on-one, that intimate time with her to really talk about things. Like, you have got to be kidding me. I literally teared up, and I responded as soon as they sent the DM. I saw the alert and I responded right away. Like, yes, I'm available. Like, let's do this. Okay. So fast forward, when I get to the venue on that day to do Melissa's makeup, I see someone there from Melissa's team who I met years ago, like years with a Z, years ago at a Cream of Nature Essence event. And I want to say that event was like in 2016, maybe 2015, 2016. But let me tell you something. She never forgot about me. She never forgot about me. I wasn't even clear on how they found me to, do Melissa's makeup for the event. I just assumed maybe they did a search for DMV makeup artists. I don't know. But once I got there and I saw the young lady that I had met years ago, it was very clear that my connections were connecting. And through conversation later on, it was very clear that my connections were connecting. And she was the one that put my name on the table to do Melissa's makeup that morning. Like, wow. Somebody that I met so long ago. Let me tell you, people are always watching you. No matter if they double tap, comment, share, like, people are always watching you. All right, just keep that in mind. So as I'm doing Melissa's makeup, one thing I was really tickled about that I knew was going to probably happen. I'm like, I know she's going to have me probably use like lip bar products on her and everything. But I got to test out like maybe 2 or 3 things that potentially may be coming to the lip bar arsenal list of products and everything like that. And it was really cool to actually like be able to like test out and give my feedback. And she was asking me about like how long I've been doing makeup. And that's how the conversation started. So she asked me, how long have you been doing makeup? And that's like when I think people always try to test out, like, how good is she? Like, how long she been doing this? And there's also conversation too, because I ask people certain things like that too. So I told her I've been doing makeup for 10 years. The lip bar just turned 11 the other day. So we've been kind of at it at the same, I won't say the same time because I don't know her backstory yet. But we've been in business around the same time. So I told her 10 years and she's like, oh my God, like, do you love it still? And I'm like, I can't say that I love doing makeup anymore. Like, I like it. I can do it. But I said, I'm more so focused on building my community and like growing my podcast. And she perked up. But I said podcast. She said, podcast? What's your podcast about? So I was like, the name of my podcast is Friends in Beauty. And, I just interview different beauty industry professionals on like their keys to longevity and success, beauty pros and like, of course, like brand owners like you. And she said, I'll do it. I'll do your podcast. I'll do it. I was like, what is happening right now? I was like, what is happening? So without me even really having to ask, I just mentioned it. Of course, I was going to ask. I'm like, yeah, girl, so would you do it? She was just like, I'll do it. So I was like, cool. So like, and one thing about me is you tell me something like that. Now you gotta, not like you gotta do it, but I'm not going to let you forget that you told me that you said you would do it. So yeah, it's going to happen, y'all. It's going to happen. Like, I'm definitely going to get this interview for myself and for you because meeting her was such an amazing experience. I follow her journey for so long through social media. Never really knew anybody that I know of that knew her personally. So it was really such an honor to really just witness the love that so many people have for her. Like after I did her makeup, of course, I had to go home and get myself together and get cute to come back for the event. But I attended the event, so many beautiful, beautiful Black women there. Melissa expressed that DC is like her biggest market. That's why she wanted to come and do the event here because we're like her biggest market. And it was so cool to see a lot of people who I haven't seen in a long time, and then people I have never met in person before. I saw my girl, the Golden Nug, aka, well, no, her name is Joey. Her name is the Golden Nug. I'm about to say aka Joey, but I guess it's also known as Joey because it's her real name. But I saw her. We've been friends on Instagram for a little bit, but I never met her in person. So I was really excited to meet her in person. I saw my girl, Tiana Robinson. It's always good to see Tiana out and about, my little introverted friend in beauty. She be just in her little shell, but she's a boss as well. Ran into Rated Pretty Girl, JT. I haven't seen JT in years with a Z as well. Charlene Osei, who's an influencer here. And then also, let me tell you something. How these connections be connected to okay, so let me tell you something. I saw this lady at the event and I kept on looking at her like, is she a makeup artist? I definitely know her face from somewhere. It was bothering me. I was like, I need to find out who she is. So I went over to her. I was like, hey, like, you look so familiar. Like, she's like, you do too. Like, I was like, I can't remember where I met you from. And then at the same time, we made the connection and we were like, oh my God, why did this lady's makeup like 8 years ago for her baby shower? I was like, oh my God. I think about her often because I did her makeup at least like 2 times. But the baby shower is always in particular because I love doing people's makeup for like their baby showers and maternity shoots and then them still being clients and I get to see how the child is growing over the years. But I never got to do that with her. So I was like, oh my God, how's the baby? And she's like, well, the baby is 7. And I'm like, oh no. So she showed me pictures of her daughter. So adorable. And then I made the connection again. I was like, wait, you're friends with, such and such. She is best friends with the lady who referred me to do Melissa's makeup. That's how I had did her makeup before in the past because that same person had recommended me to her. How crazy is that? Overall, an amazing experience. These manifestations are manifesting. These connections are connecting. It's like because like the interview hasn't happened yet, but it's going to happen. But it's like these little tiny things that be happening that just lead up to the big moment. And it's just really so exciting. I used to get so frustrated with things not happening fast enough, at least as fast as I thought it was supposed to happen, for me at least. And now I'm at the point, at least within like the last year, I've had this epiphany of like, what is the rush? What are we really in a rush for? Like honestly, other than like our mortality, I think our mortality might be the reason why we try to get things done because we don't know how much time we have here on this earth, but like, what is really the rush? Why are we trying to get to this result like so quick? Like, what is really the reason why we are rushing? And when I was at the event and I was talking to Joey, the Golden Nug, she said something that resonated so much. She said, I feel like this is the season where our seeds that have been planted are growing. And I was like, girl, you are so right. Think about the seeds that you have been planting over the years. And anybody that is like a plant mom, or if you ever grown a plant from seed, then you know what it takes for something to grow. And I think maybe in the springtime, I might do that as a challenge for my friends in beauty. I had a garden a couple of years back, and I also grew some other things last year. But if you really grow something from seed, then you see the consistency and the care and the nurturing it takes, the right environment. You have to repot the plant, okay? If it starts to grow out of that environment that it's in, you have to repot it into a bigger pot so it can keep on growing. You got to keep the pests away. So many things that go into growing a plant, from seed to an actual like tomato, or something, or like the actual rosemary or basil that you're growing. It takes a lot. So if you think about the different seeds that you have been planting over the years, think about if you have been consistent with the care and the nurturing of it, the right environment. Have you been keeping those negative thoughts, those negative people, those pests away from the seeds that you have grown? Sometimes when you plant a seed, a daggone bird will come and eat it out of the soil and you have no clue. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that happen when we are planting seeds. And you also have to sometimes plant more than one seed at a time in the soil to see which one is going to sprout. It's so much that goes into it, y'all. At the end of the day, just set your intentions and be clear about what you want. Write it down. If you're a visual person, make it visual. That's why people do vision boards. If you need to hear it, say it out loud. Record yourself saying the things that you want. But most importantly, you have to have faith that it's going to happen. In the meantime, just get out there. Get out there and make some connections. Serve your clients with integrity. Leave lasting impressions on people, because one day those connections will connect you to the right people, and your dreams and your desires will physically manifest. I promise you, the consistency when you plant those seeds is the most important thing. The consistency, the care, everything that goes into it. And while you're waiting for those things to happen, you don't stop making those genuine connections with people. All right. Oh, I'm so happy that I was able to share this with you. And I hope that, you are curious. I hope that you're curious to see like how good it can get. Like, what's the harm in dreaming big and making your intentions known and just sitting back and seeing what happens? And I want to know about it. When your manifestations start manifesting and your connections start connecting, shoot me a DM, shoot me an email or something. I want to know. And if this is happening to you now, just like how it's happening for me, because I really truly am blown away. Even though it's like something that you expect to happen, I'm just amazed at how it's happening. Like it's so amazing. So if this is happening to you too, leave a comment on the designated post for this on Instagram for this episode, or leave a comment on the YouTube. Like, I want to know like what's going on in your life as well. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you are inspired to get out there and allow great things to happen to you after you set your intentions. I hope to see you soon at the Friends of Beauty Mixer or the bus trip or both. Either way, keep your head up. Things are happening. Slowly but surely, you are on the right path, all right? No matter if it feels like you're failing or not. Every little thing plays a part in the big picture. Everything is a lesson, all right? I will talk to you soon. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. Share this episode with at least one friend in beauty, and subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts so that other friends in beauty can find this show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, #Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.